Sup, y'all? You want to know the secrets? Here are the secrets. If you go to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns, you can get early episodes, you can get bonus episodes, you can get super long episodes with special guests like Justin Robert Young and Hal Lublin and many more to come. Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. Secrets. I'll do that. Patreon.com/acarboni. I'll do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. You like the way I made the last thing I said? The URL for my personal Patreon, so there's no way we can cut it out.
I didn't not notice that. I'll say that.
Woo!
We got a fun story. This is interesting to me. This was sent in by Dan. Thanks, Dan. Just first name Dan. He was sent it to We Have Concerns Show at gmail.com.
Just some other Dan? Some new Dan? Not the Dan we know?
Not a Dan we know.
Huh.
Just a Dan.
Oh, well, hey, new Dan. Or old Dan.
New Dan, same as the old Dan. This is a story about architecture. I'm fascinated with architecture.
I wish I knew more about it.
Me too, but I'm a big fan of the Charlie Rose show on PBS.
Yeah.
And he always has...
Because you're a dad.
Because I'm a dad. But I have been, I've been watching that show since I was in high school.
Because you were a dad then.
I guess that's true. Hey, 20-year-old child that I have. And he always has architects on. And I think those are the most interesting episodes. Architects talking about the ideas behind really interesting buildings. Well, this story is about how the opposite of interesting buildings can actually be bad for us. The idea here is that bland, boring architecture actually has a negative psychological effect on society.
Yeah, I believe that.
And there's actually research along these lines. This scientist led small groups of people on carefully planned walks in the Lower East Side of Manhattan and asked and measured their skin for electrodermal response. It's basically measuring their emotional excitement when they saw things, and then asked them to describe the things that they saw. And they walked around and they went to like a boring little Whole Foods, and they went to a strip mall, and then they went to sort of a more urban environment with some more interesting stuff. And what he found was the boring stuff actually had a detrimental effect to their mood, that they were actually affected psychologically by being in boring environments.
I 100% believe that, man. I think that's why travel is so awesome. If you can go somewhere that doesn't look like where you're from, doesn't feel like where you're from. Like we need variety. We're creatures of habit, and we will run towards habit.
Yeah.
We will run screaming towards habit because it makes us feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
But we need a little bit of newness. We need a little bit of variety in our lives in order to stay vibrant. When I go home to the suburbs, and no shade at the suburbs. I hate the suburbs, but no shade to anybody who loves the suburbs.
Yeah.
But for me, like driving around my hometown and seeing this Hanna-Barbera 60s cartoon repeating background of like Smoothie King strip mall gas station, Smoothie King strip mall gas station,
right,
over and over again, just it hurts my fucking heart.
Well, there's actual data to back this up. They say that even small doses of boredom can generate stress, and there's a lot of studies that boring things are actually more that they increase your heart rate and your cortisol level more than being sad. So it's actually harder on your body to be understimulated and bored than anything else.
Wow. Do you know how often I'm bored? Can we talk about how often I'm fucking bored?
When I was a kid, I was never allowed to use that word. My parents always said, if you say you're bored, we'll give you something to do. And the something they would give me to do was never something I wanted to do. So I would never use that word.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really kind of describe myself in that way. You think you're bored a lot?
Yeah.
Really? I feel like you're such a busy, active person.
Well, I do it so I don't feel as bored as I am. I don't know. Right. I'm like a puppy, I think. Like when a puppy isn't trained and it's just got all this energy and it doesn't know what to do with the world.
Yeah.
And it's just bored, and so it starts tearing shit apart.
Yeah.
That's kind of me. Like if I get bored and I just start tearing shit apart, like it's all I know how to do. I hate being bored, but I'm bored so often.
Well, they're saying that this study is saying that a lot of that has to do with environment, and they even link it to ADHD in children. They say that environmental deprivation is a thing where these kids are growing up in these strip malls where everything looks the same and they don't know how to deal with it. And so they sort of get ADHD.
Well, here we are, 15 milligrams a day of Adderall later.
Yeah.
And I can say, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I just have my personal experience. This is totally apocryphal, but yeah, it feels right.
Well, the opposite is also not healthy. They're not saying like you want Las Vegas or this overstimulated, crazy everything coming at you either, because that has negative effects. So there's this sweet spot in the middle of interesting, compelling spaces that will actually be psychologically healthy to us. And that is things that don't all look the same. And it actually isn't even linked to being clean or tidy. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
And I find that so fascinating.
I buy that, man. I mean, I would never move back, but I consider one of the best, happiest, most important times of my life, the time when I was living in New York.
Yeah.
Because New York is so different from neighborhood to neighborhood and place to place, and it's constantly changing, and it is dirty and it is nasty, but it's different and it's interesting. Even San Francisco was at least beautiful. Like I felt very
stimulated.
I felt
right?
very low stress in San Francisco, just because it was a beautiful place to walk around. LA has been a challenge for me because LA.
You're in your car all the time.
Yeah, and it can feel very repetitive and suburban. Like LA has long strips of strip mall, gas station, Smoothie King, strip mall. I mean, little neighborhoods are interesting, but there's a lot of just.
Well, it's because it's all sprawled out.
Yeah.
So you get pockets of interesting.
So do they say, like, are there specific places or cities or types of architecture that they say are the best? Like, have they ranked anything?
They're saying it doesn't necessarily even have to be architecture. It just has to be interesting stuff, art or stimuli in the environment. So basically things that make you think, that draw your attention, so the architecture itself can do that, or they're saying, kids that don't have toys or art or other stimuli in their world, they have
public
problems.
Art, sculpture, public art.
Things that stimulate the mind. And it's required in your living environment. I think that is a pretty profound statement, because maybe it sounds kind of obvious when you speak it out, but I don't think people apply it to the world.
No. I mean, it's weird. Like, we moved in here and we were here for almost a year before we started like putting things on the walls, really organizing stuff, because other things get in the way.
Yeah.
And it was the moment that we really did that we started feeling comfortable and happy in the house.
Right.
You think it doesn't matter that much to you.
Yeah.
Like I don't consider myself, I'm just like, I travel all the time. I work all the time.
Right.
I'm not worried about how the shelves are arranged or organized, but I am. We're so much more, we don't think of ourselves as aesthetic creatures, or like people, like a lot of us don't think of ourselves as artistic or people who care about design or whatever.
Right.
But we so are. Like on a basic level, we so are.
100%. It is all affecting us all the time where you live. And they're even talking about how this feeling of awe is transformatory. That like it actually affects
like
you.
You will turn into a giant fucking bird.
You will fly. You will sprout wings.
If you're surrounded by like art on one side and a park and a beautiful cathedral on the other, and then right behind you is like a fountain, you will just like,
you will spontaneously
your skin
evolve,
will tear apart.
Yes,
and you will turn into
a beam
your
of light will shoot out of your eyes and mouth.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
You will go Super Saiyan on the beauty.
You say Scion?
What was I supposed to say? How's it pronounced?
I say Saiyan. Is it Scion?
I thought it was Scion.
I thought it was Super Saiyan.
I've never heard Saiyan, but
I've never heard Scion.
Somebody's got to know for certain. I thought it was Super Saiyan.
Hey, let's call the whole thing off, buddy.
This is the Dragon Ball Z of potato.
Yeah, it's a Nat King Cole.
That's kind of
Nat King Cole, by the way. Super, super into the Cell Saga. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh my God, that guy would not shut up about it.
Yeah. No, but I fully believe this, man. Like I go, this is one. Okay, so here's an example of this in action. For the past 4 or 5 years, I've been going to PAX, right? PAX is in Seattle, and I usually go to work, and I stay downtown, and if I go to E3, I stay downtown to work.
Right.
And every downtown looks the same. Every downtown is the big buildings. It's like fast food places, coffee places. They're all chain restaurants.
Right.
Right. And so I feel the same way about all these cities. I realized that I didn't like Seattle very much. I didn't like Boston very much. I didn't have feelings about them one way or the other. So last year for PAX, I went or 2 years ago, because we went last year, but 2 years ago for PAX, I went and I stayed far away from the convention center. I went and stayed with some friends in Ballard, which is up north a bit. And just staying there outside of the sameness of a downtown area made me fall in love with Seattle, made me fall in love with PAX, made me fall in love with going and doing this thing every year in a way that I just hadn't been, because I got to walk around this city and see what it was really like.
Yeah.
And it changed the entire flavor of the trip for me.
That's so cool. I find that to be the case too. And when you're in stimulating environments that make you think and feel different and feel interesting, my mood is certainly improved. I think that is absolutely the case.
That's why I'm making the hedge maids out front.
Oh, well, I was wondering why you were doing that. It seems like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. I have people that do that for me. And it was mostly just, it's mostly just number one, I don't want people getting to my front door.
Well,
and number two, if they, and by they I mean you, do manage to get to my front door.
Yeah.
It takes you a while and you're covered in thorns, but you're kind of energized.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I know you were upset that I was so late, but
I was upset. I'm just upset whenever I see you.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. It did take me an extra 45 minutes to figure out how to get here.
Sure.
And
that's by design.
And I'm bleeding a lot.
Sure, but how do you feel?
I feel energized, but that just may be the loss of blood kind of making me a little delirious.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot of data points to compare. It could be either one, I guess.
Did you need to have all of the trap doors and
No.
No?
No, I did not.
Well, maybe you could remove some of those, because that was a real surprise. No? Not gonna...
Shocked that you didn't hit the one. I had some friends put one in special for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But I guess you didn't hit it.
No, it did. There was one that triggered, and it looked real deep, and it looked like there's some stuff at the bottom.
Yeah, I might have, Jeff, just like seeing an environment from a different perspective can change your views on that environment.
Yeah.
Seeing a group of people in a different way, really sitting down and talking to them can change your opinion on them.
Oh.
And I got to tell you, the people who are representing the interests of spike manufacturers are not as bad as we thought.
Is that so? You've kind of turned a corner on that, and no money has changed hands.
Whoa, I'm not going to say that.
I'm
not going to say that. How do you think a guy like me affords a hedge maze?
Well, I was gonna ask about that, and all the digging that you've done. It's a very, very deep pit.
I just want to say thank you to the Spike Lobby for everything they do for society, for me, for the people who want Jeff murdered.
Oh boy.
They're just really good.
They have an agenda. They have a very strong agenda.
No, they don't have an agenda.
I'm just saying, I'm a little worried that your interests have now been compromised by a powerful
What's
lobbying
more
group.
interesting than thinking you're just looking at dirt when in reality you're looking at some beautifully manufactured spikes?
I got to admit, the quality level of the spikes, very high.
There's a reason why they have a whole lobby. They're keeping the quality up so high.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, do you feel like where you live, the area of town where you live is interesting enough for you? Do you like walking around and does it energize you to live there?
That's a good question. My wife and I went on a walk last night, in fact. And it's interesting when you walk, you see things that you feel like, oh my God, has that been there the whole time?
Ghosts.
Yeah. Have they been haunting this avenue the entire time?
Probably.
Have they been stealing dreams from people this entire time? And
I haven't had a single dream since I moved here.
Yeah. Have I just been missing out on all of the horrific imagery that's been manufactured in each alleyway through the dreams that have been stolen by individual sleepers?
If you have, it's a real shame because you got to get to know your neighborhood.
I really feel like you just got to slow down.
Yeah.
Because I drive right through that and I miss it,
Sometimes I drive right through it and I hit old women, old sorceresses.
Yeah, with your Death Yaris?
With my Death Yaris. But I like to take a little bit of time and walk around.
Yeah, sometimes you got to get out of the Death Yaris and just have a murder stroll.
Sometimes you have a little bit of a murder stroll.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Take time. Enjoy it. Enjoy the murder.
Yeah.
I think my neighborhood is fun to walk around in. Is your neighborhood fun to walk around in?
Can I tell you a story? And all joking aside, can I tell you this is ridiculous? I think maybe you won't find it so, but we took a stroll, and it is spring in Los Angeles, and we actually had some rain this year. So
the smog is just reflecting the sunlight in a beautiful way.
Oh, it's so wonderful. It's a balmy 78 degrees morning, noon, and night.
The particulates are giving me just like a beautiful wheezing. It's almost melodic.
Well, we were walking around behind our apartment complex where there's a bunch of housing, and it's a really lovely little neighborhood, very expensive, like out of anyone's price range. Like the fact that people could live there in like $1.5 million homes in our neighborhood is insane.
Like, how dare they?
It's crazy.
Like, how
anyway,
dare they?
Because there's been some rain, there's actually blooming flowers, and evidently everybody got on the same page and all planted roses, and it's these wonderful rows of beautiful rose bushes. And we're walking, and at one point my wife turns and bends down and smells it, and I thought to myself, this is where it comes from.
You literally stopped to smell the roses.
This is where the whole thing started. I was like, you know what we don't do enough? Holy shit!
This is it.
We just way it's happening. Have you ever been living inside a cliche and you're just like,
I feel like it's my whole life.
What?
I feel like my whole life is living inside a cliche. I am a little concerned that your neighborhood may lead to the Dark Tower. That could be a problem.
Yeah. There is a lot of haunting.
Yeah,
I mentioned that already, right?
An endless rose garden.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. Could lead to the Dark Tower. Is very beautiful.
Right.
So, if you look it up on Redfin, it'll list both of those things. Pros and cons.
I did flee through the desert, and a man in black followed. So I don't
know. And that desert was not there to begin with. I don't know. How do you guys feel about where you live? Do you feel like it's beautiful? Do you feel like it's interesting? Do you feel like it affects you one way or the other?
Should we do something about that? Should we as a culture decide that we need to live? Should we value our environment? Should we drop things on the floor?
Maybe we should. Who knows? We'd love to hear more from you. You can let us know on Twitter. I'm at ACarboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And hey, you know what would really help us out if you've been enjoying the show? Leave
a card, like a lovely card.
I don't want these people with my address. I mean, I love them. I don't want anybody to have my address. I'm a little pissed that you know where I live, in all honesty.
Well, it got a little more complicated with the hedge maze.
It did.
Your poor mailman's still stuck in there.
Good. Guy's a dick. No, what you could do is leave us a review on whatever platform you happen to listen to the show on, whether that's iTunes, whether that's Google Play, which we're on Google Play now.
Hey, we're on Google Play now. I feel like that's a thing.
I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. Google Play Music Podcast? I don't know, but we're on it.
We got to get on that title. I hear title is a thing.
Stop it.
We got to get on that.
But leave us a 5-star review on wherever you listen to us. And hey, they're probably going to ask you to write a review.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. It's a waste of time. It's like the hedge maze of reviewing.
Yeah, that's what it is.
A waste of your time.
A waste of time.
Ends in sadness.
A beautifully constructed waste of time. Thank you, Spike Lobby. But instead, what you can do is give us a 5-star review, and then let us know what sort of ghosts are haunting your neighborhood.
Yeah.
I would love to hear where you live and what kind of ghosts are haunting your neighborhood and what they're doing to the populace.
There you go.
That'd be great. Anyway, thank you guys so much. If you haven't yet, head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. We're starting video episodes for patrons. And tell a friend about the show. We love you.